Number one, write the numbers below in order from least to greatest. Now remember with negatives, kind of works backwards. Negative 20 is the smallest, then negative 12, then negative 11, then negative 10. Now we're in the positive, so it's regular. 11, 13. Same idea for 2. Negative 18, negative 8, negative 7, negative 3, 3, and 4. Number 3, point E is located at negative 2, negative 1, negative 2. There's E. Point Q is at 3. This time we're going up. 1, 2, 3. Point R is at negative 4. Now, number 6, reviewing equations here. I want to get it to just say x equals. If I want to change this to just x, I have to cancel out. This is divide. Fraction means divide. I cancel it out by multiplication. And 5 times 9, 45. 7, same idea. Minus 5 to cancel that out. 15. 8. 8x means 8 times x. Anytime you have a number in front of a variable with no operation written, it's multiplication. So to cancel out multiply, we'll divide, and we get 9. Now I realize those 3 probably do in your head, but when we get to one like 9, this is why it's important to show the work. You're probably not going to come up with this in your head. So this is divide again, so we'll multiply to cancel it out. Then we'll just type that in. 6.2, not 6 times 2. See how the decimal's lower at the bottom of the numbers, whereas when I use it for a time sign, it's kind of up in the middle. So 6.2 times 4, 24.8. Simplify. You can either try to figure out what to divide those both by, or you can just use the fraction button, 24, not a sign, 24, ABC, 40, 3/5. Then on 11, again, simplify. All you got to do, 15, ABC, 63. Hit enter. 5 over 21. Stop that from doing that. There we go. On 12, 44, ABC, 70, 22 over 35. Now 13, if I wanted to subtract these without a calculator, I'd have to get a common denominator. But with a calculator, we can just type it in, 15 ABC 16 minus 1 ABC 20, 71 over 80. 14, same idea, we can just type that in, 1 ABC 2 plus 4 ABC 11, 19 over 22. 15, 1 ABC 2 minus 7 ABC 20. 3/20. 16. You could type this one in, but if you notice, hey, they already have a common denominator. All I got to do 5 plus 1 is 6. 6/7. 17. You could just type this in. I'll do this one by hand, though. You don't have to, even on the test, on the real test. I'll just remind us how this works. I chose this one to do by hand. This one's pretty easy. Multiplied by 2 to get a common denominator, then 13 over 20. Again, you could just type that in. That's fine on the test. 18, this would be a please excuse my dear Aunt Sally if you want to do it out by hand. No parentheses, e for exponent, 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9. Now the m multiply, 18 plus 9, 27. Again, you didn't have to do that out by hand like on 19 here. On 19, I can just type that all in. 5, any exponent, it's bottomless triangle, 3, plus 1 times 10, 135. Now, some people noticed on 20, hey, this is kind of the same thing. The only thing that's different, 9 times 2 or 2 times 9. You will get the same thing. You can type it in, 2 times 9 plus 3. Now, it's square. We could use a bottomless triangle, but there's a special square button right there. 27. Trying to get this so it won't flash like that. There we go. All right. Now, when you add or subtract with negatives, you absolutely can just type this in. But following the rules, if you add 2 negatives, you just get more negative when they're the same sign. When adding, add 2 plus 7 is 9, keep the sign. Don't get them confused with the multiplication and division rules. Again, though, even if you want to do this by hand on the test, check it. Rather than end up having to do corrections, there we go. Type it in exactly like you see it. Just be aware this is a minus, that's the negative. 22, we're subtracting smaller minus bigger, so we know it's going to be negative. 9 minus 5 is 4. This is negative 4. With a calculator, just type it right in. Negative 4. Opposite signs, subtract, forget about the signs, just do bigger minus smaller. 8 minus 6 is 2. Keep the sign of the bigger one. Negative. Negative 2. Now you can absolutely type that in. Negative 8 plus 6, negative 2. 24, when you subtract a negative, who cares what's out here? Just change minus the negative to plus the positive. And drop the 5 down. Hey, it's easy now, hopefully. 6. And then 25, negative 5, plus 10, 5. With multiplication, the rules were a lot easier. But don't get confused with the rules for adding and subtracting and the rules for multiply and divide. With multiplication and division, it's just if they're different signs, your answer is negative. 3 times 2 is 6, one positive, one negative, answer is negative. You can absolutely type that in. There we go. 27, if they're the same sign, they're both negative, you're going to get a positive. 6 times 3 is 18. -28, -25 divided by 5. You could just type that in. -5. You do that by hand, 25 divided by 5 is 5. And they're different signs, so your answer is negative. 29, same sign, they're both negative. 14 divided by 2, 7. Since it's the same sign, keep it positive. And again, you can just type it in. 7. There we go. Simplify. Now this is like, these are like the ones on the front, except now we have some signs. And a lot of you, when you were working on this in class, noticed, hey, this one works. -1/2. Again, to simplify, use your ABC button, hit enter. -1/2, you could write it like that. You could write it like this. This one's better. This is the way you'll see it more often, but these mean the same thing. But on 31, a lot of you saw that 5 ABC -25. You hit enter. Oops, syntax error. Calculator doesn't like negatives on the bottom. It doesn't handle them. So when we went over this, we just ignored the sign. Just reduce it. 1/5. Then just remember, dividing, when you have different signs, positive and negative, the answer is negative. There we go. So if that happens, just ignore the negative, type it in with just 5 and 25 or whatever numbers would be on the test, hit enter. Then go over your signs. All right. Now 32, write out an expanded form, like what it means. I'm not asking for you to calculate this. I don't want to know what 5 to the 6th power, like the number is for that. I just want you to say that this is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 of them. You could use the dot for multiply, like I do. Just keep it up, not on the bases of the 5s there. You could use the X for the time sign. That's fine. 33, -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. -2 to the 4th power, -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. The point, oops, wrong way. The point of these, I still, and in any grade level I've taught before, this happens all the time. I get like 5 times 6, 30. This is definitely more than 30. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. Then if you keep multiplying that, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's definitely not 5 times 6. Point of these, not just to make you write stuff down, it's to help you remember what those exponents mean. Now, 34, if I raise a negative to an odd power, we get a negative. And I put one on here that, if you forget that, you could just type it in, negative 128. Hey, it's negative. Be careful, though. If on the test, let's say I made the one with numbers, an even exponent. Say I said this was negative 2 to the 4th. It's supposed to be positive. But if you don't remember those parentheses, you get the wrong answer. Then 35, when you raise a negative number to an even power, the result has what sign? Positive. Odds give you negatives. I mean, this number's got to be negative, but when you raise a negative power, when you raise a negative base, a negative number to an odd power, negative. When you raise a negative to an even, you get a positive. Now, these are where I do want the answer. And this should be real easy. You can just use your calculator. 5 to the 3rd, 125. Now, like we just saw, make sure you use your parentheses or else it'll give you the wrong answer. Positive 256. These are absolute value. Don't let absolute value trick you or confuse you. Should be the easiest things on here. It's just always positive. So negative 5 becomes 5. Don't write the bars anymore. Don't change 7 either. Just leave it positive 7. Distance. To find distance, and I had written this on the board, you subtract. Then you take the absolute value. Maybe we'll need to change the sign, maybe not. You can type this in, or minus a negative is plus. 5 plus 2, 7. It's already positive. I don't need those bars. And the last one. Subtract negative 16. Hey, I need to make it positive. Oops, there we go. Also, like we said, you don't have to do any specific order. If you switch them around, if you know 18 minus 2 is positive already, just do that. There we go. You get the same thing either way.